When it comes to cooking meals, drying clothes, heating water, and my home, nothing beats natural gas from CenterPoint Energy. It's my most affordable energy option. It costs less to use than electricity, propane, and heating oil. So if you already have natural gas, keep it. If you're replacing an appliance, choose it. Natural gas, your best choice. Safe and affordable, rest assured.
For more on the benefits of a natural gas home, visit centerpointenergy.com/natural gas benefits. CenterPoint Energy, always there.
Josiah, when you first committed to USC, was this kind of the moment you visualized in terms of, playing in an NCAA regional, coming up with a big hit, and just how did it feel to be in that moment and to have the crowd and your teammates around you?
Oh, 100%. When you're in high school, you can commit to a university. That's one thing you take in consideration is playing in a regional with thousands of fans behind you rooting you on. And for it to happen the way it did today was awesome.
Colin Taylor.
Yeah, Josiah, just take me through that at bat where you get the double, and just what was that moment like for you, the emotion that kind of goes through your head as you're standing on second after driving in those two runs?
Yeah, with the runners on second and third, my mindset was just put the ball in play and hope for the best. And he blew a first pitch fastball by me, and it's like, don't let it happen again. Don't miss this next pitch he's about to give you. And saw the breaking ball right out of the hand. I put a good swing on it. And when I saw the ball land fair, I was excited for the team.
David Cloninger.
Hey, Josiah, Colin always seems like a kind of a quiet guy. He gets the big hit to get you in for the go-ahead run. What did he say in between innings? What was the celebration like there?
Just do whatever it takes for the team, I mean, we train and we visualize for moments like this all season long, and for it to happen the way it did, it's a moment as teammates we share, and it was a great feeling for everyone.
Cam Gaskins.
Josiah, we've seen this team fight and claw back into games like this all season long. What's the vibe like in the dugout when you guys feel those rallies going? And then what's it like just seeing those guys erupt when you finally deliver that big hit?
Yeah, this is a team we don't like to lose. Whenever we face adversity, I feel like this team really thrives off of it. So whenever the opportunity presents itself, we try to take full advantage of it. And today we obviously did. And, this is a team that thrives on moments like that.
Dick Cox.
Can you talk about the crowd today? It looked like the team really fed off the crowd, especially in the sixth inning. And what was it like with the big crowd today getting into the game?
Yeah, all season long, when beginning of the year, whenever it had limited capacity, we were just looking forward to all year, just playing in front of bigger crowds and bigger crowds. And the energy that crowds fed off today was, we enjoyed every moment of it. All 9 innings, just hearing the fans cheer us on, and it's just something you don't even dream of. It's just a great feeling to ever be out there and just hear everyone cheering you on. And it's something that when you can experience it, you take full advantage of it.
Last question goes to Colin Taylor.
Josiah, how many regionals or super regionals did you go to growing up in South Carolina, and how nice was it to be on the other end of it and delivering?
This is my first regional ever. Never went to any regionals growing up. So to be able to be playing in my first regional and experiencing my first regional has been awesome.
Is it any sweeter to do this as an in-state kid and helping, the home state program win that first game?
Oh, 100%. After the game, you have all kinds of people come up to you and it's like, hey, I'm from your small town, and, they cheer you on, and, just be able to experience it is great.
Yeah, Julian, just obviously you probably went into the game a little bit sooner than maybe you anticipated. Just what was the mentality like, and how do you feel like you threw overall to keep this offense into it and keep things within striking distance?
It was a little early, but that's just our motto in the bullpen. Just whenever you're called on, come in and give up 0 runs. So I think I did a pretty good job with that. It was a little wild here and there, but to come in for how many innings I did and put up 1 run, I'm very happy with it. And I know that Danny coming in behind me probably thought the same thing.
Ben Portnoy.
Julian, kind of to that, obviously had to extend a little bit just because Brett came out a little early. Just what is that process kind of like? And when you come into a game like that, I mean, were you expecting to kind of go maybe 3, a little bit more than that, or how do you kind of attack a situation like that?
I know all season they've asked me a bunch of different roles. I've always had the mindset just go as long as I can. If they ask me for 1 inning, I'll go in there for 1. If they ask me for 3 or 4 or 5, I can do both. So just the mentality is just last as long as you can.
Colin Taylor.
Julian, what was it like to pitch in this environment, in a regional environment with a pretty packed house today?
Oh, it's very, very fun. I think we have some of the best fans in the country that they really get into the game. They and I know as a team, it really fuels us when we hear them doing the Gamecock chant or any other chant. It really fuels us in the dugout to go out there and play our best.
John Whittle.
What is the emotion of that last out like for you, seeing Daniel battle that guy and get that strikeout at the end after a game that you pitched so well?
I think it's just a big sign of relief. I know that their hitters swing the bat pretty well. They knew where the zone was, so just seeing him going out there and battling, especially that last inning with those 3 Ks, it's huge for not only him but for the team.
Cam Gaskins.
So Julian, when you come into a game in the situation you came in, your whole mindset is just to keep your team in the game. So when you see them actually come back in that 6th inning and take advantage of the work that you and Daniel did, how rewarding is that as a pitcher to feel that in the bullpen, to know that you keeping Virginia where they at helped you guys win the game?
Oh, it's a great feeling. I think all year long, that's what we preached. Hey, put up zeros. Whenever we're called upon, we know it could be in the 4th. We know it could be in the 9th. So all year long, it's just me, Andrew Peters, Danny Lloyd, whoever's called upon, that when we put up a 0 and we know that we can put up runs with 1 swing of the bat, it's so nice.
Well, not exactly how we drew it up with Brett coming out there in the 3rd, but we knew it would be a close game. We anticipated it would be 3-2, 4-3, 5-4, somewhere in that area. It's exactly what it ended up being. Andrew Abbott, guy's going to pitch in the big leagues very, very shortly. We knew what we were getting with him, and I think our guys did a really nice job against him. 5 2/3, 4 earned runs, and only 6 strikeouts. We knew we had to have that kind of approach, and I'm really pleased offensively. And then Bosnick and Lloyd coming in there late were just huge for us, huge.
David Kleininger with the first question.
Hey, Mark, thanks for doing this. Just the first reaction to how Brett's doing. Is it possible he could maybe come back for the weekend?
Yeah, it was pure. It's just a muscle cramp in his neck. It's not arm related. It's not anything other than he woke up this week, slept on it wrong, and he just cannot turn his neck fully. So, we knew early in the game his stuff was not what it normally was. It was clear when you looked up on the scoreboard, and the normal 93s and 94s were 88s and 89s. It was clear that he wasn't himself today. So we were going to try to get as much as we could out of him, because he at 80-90% is still really good and can get and find ways to get outs. But we also knew we wanted to manage it in a way that we could bring him back with a couple more days of rest. So that's what we did. He got to 50 pitches, probably will not be available tomorrow, but good chance he could be available later in the tournament.
Cam Gaskins.
Coach, you've talked a lot about this team's fight all season long. After that 6th inning, just what else can you say about this team's grit and determination with their backs against the wall?
Again, I've never questioned it for a second. I never have. I don't know if anybody else has, but I've never questioned it for a second. This team wants to win. It has a will to win, does not panic if we fall behind. And that 6th inning obviously was huge for us. Some big hits, some big at-bats there. And obviously we needed it. Getting Abbott out of the game at that point was huge for us. And the big hits obviously were the difference in the ballgame.
Colin Taylor.
Mark, Josiah is obviously a guy that's had his documented struggles over the course of his career, but just how nice is it to see him come through in that big moment and deliver for you guys when you needed him?
It was the biggest hit of the game, obviously. Biggest hit of the game, and Sightler is one of our leaders. He's one of our character guys. He bleeds Gamecocks, and he's worked really hard to put himself in this position. It's taken him a long time to get to the point where we can use him in our lineup and as a starting player. But he put in the time, and now he's getting rewarded for all that hard work.
Dick Cox.
Coach, what was your thoughts going into the ninth inning, knowing that you had to face the Jalal brothers who had been a thorn in your side all day?
Yeah, you knew it wouldn't be easy. It's not easy in the postseason. Just not going to be. And you knew the last out of the game could potentially be a guy that was 3 for 4 and had already hit a home run. So hats off to Danny Lloyd. Generally, once he gets past the 2 innings is when we start to kind of get a feel for, is it time to hand the ball off? But he was just pitching so well, had such good command, and we felt like Danny was the guy to close out that game, and he did a very nice job with it.
Ben Portnoy.
Mark, you mentioned Julian and Daniel, guys like that who, were able to extend a little bit today. I mean, first of all, how valuable is it to have guys like that? And 2, what can you kind of say just about their performance and what they gave you in terms of coming off Brett?
Yeah, it's what we needed. Again, when you're facing Andrew Abbott, arguably, the top performing pitcher in the country, and your starter has to go out in the 3rd inning, usually that does not bode well. But because we had Bosnick to come in there and try to settle it down a little bit and had Danny waiting after him, because of the quality of our bullpen and the depth, we still had a chance. And, at that point when Brett came out, you could try to bridge it with some guys, or you could just say we've got to go all in with our top guys. And that's what we did. And obviously Bosnick and Lloyd gave us everything we could hope for.
Mike Gillespie.
Hey, Coach, it really felt like kind of on TV that the crowd kind of pushed the momentum in your favor, especially there in the 6th inning. And not only that, but I think they really got to Virginia there at the end too. Just how big was that in this game today?
The crowd was incredible today, and I can't wait to see it tomorrow night. Crowd was incredible. To come out here on a noon start on a Friday, to be that loud, to be that into it, it was great. We appreciate it very much. Like we said earlier in the week, the combination of our team getting to experience this, our fans getting to experience this, they haven't been able to do that for 5 years. It just makes for a special weekend, and we want to play the best baseball we can to reward our fans for coming out and supporting us like they do.
Phil Kornbluth.
Hey, Mark. Is that the best you've ever seen Lloyd pitch for you since he's been in the program?
I mean, it's hard to say, statistically, was it the best in terms of the environment and what it meant to his team? It was obviously the biggest stage and the biggest outs he's gotten under those circumstances. He's pitched some big games for us, but in terms of a regional opener and giving us 3 innings and no earned runs, under the circumstances, this was his biggest outing. Whether it was his best, that's hard to say, but it was his most important.
John Whittle.
Did Joe Satterfield earn a spot in the lineup tomorrow with his defensive play and his hit?
He did a really nice job. We'll have to look at it. But Joe's always been a guy that's right there, in that group of 10 or 11 that you're always considering, do we want to play him? And I thought he gave us a nice little spark there in the game.
David Cloninger.
Mark, a couple of questions. One, just how big was it for Burgess to get that go-ahead run, especially kind of picking up, his battery mate and carry there? And 2, who pitches tomorrow?
We'll go with Farr tomorrow. Regardless of who we play, we'll go with Farr tomorrow night. And Burgess was great today. He was really good in all facets of the game. He was really good. He swung the bat well. I thought he looked fresh after getting 9 or 10 days of a break. I thought he looked fresh today. His arm was as good as it's been in a long time. And his bat speed looked like it was back today too. So very encouraging.
Colin Taylor.
Mark, 2 questions for you. Just why Thomas tomorrow? And I guess after that, obviously, I think all 4 of your runs came with 2 outs. Is that the kind of situational baseball you like to see from your team from an approach and at-bat standpoint?
I mean, yeah, that's what you're always trying to do. And sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you hit it hard and it goes right at a guy. Sometimes, it doesn't happen for you. But you're always trying to have quality at bats, whether it's 0 outs, 1 out, or 2 outs. You're always trying to have quality at bats. And based on the stage is how important they seem. And today, obviously, scoring those runs with 2 outs felt very important and felt very impactful because it was a big game for us. Why we're going with Farr is just Farr's had a really good season for us. He's been better as of late. And again, I think him getting last week off will rejuvenate him, and we're hoping to see the Favre we saw early in the season when he was very good.
Ben Portnoy.
Mark, if I'm not mistaken, your first regional just experience here in Columbia, just seeing that and being in the dugout and looking around. I know you mentioned the fans, but what does that kind of feel like when this place is full tilt and kind of closest to full tilt? We've seen it this year.
Yeah, it's a tremendous environment. I'm so glad that we're at the point now in our country where we're opening the gates up and sports fans are being allowed to be sports fans. It was a tremendous environment. That part really came to life when we got those big hits in that inning, and came to life when we needed some big strikeouts when we were on defense. That's what it's all about. If you're a sports fan, if you're a Gamecock fan, if you love baseball, days and weekends like what we're doing right now is really as good as it gets.
Last question goes to Dick Cox.
Can you talk about Wes Clark's performance today that hit the ball hard 3 times, the home run, the double? The last out he made was hard though, but he seemed to look fresher today too.
Yeah, he was locked in today. He really was. He was locked in. And again, the time off, I think, served a lot of really good purposes for us. Got our arms fresh, got our bats fresh, got some guys healthy. Malone took some really good at bats today there in the 5-hole. Again, it was a calculated risk at the time, but we felt like it was necessary, and hopefully it continues to pay off for us.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thank you.